Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture series on object-oriented programming using C++. I am Mrs. Gitanjali Mahamunkar, lecturer and research scholar at Department of Computer Engineering, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere. This is my 10th lecture in this lecture series. In this lecture, I am going to cover inline function, a program related to it, and a situation where inline expansion doesn't work. For my previous lectures, please visit my channel Learn with GSM, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to my channel for more such videos. I have referred object-oriented programming with C++ by E. Balagurusamy and object-oriented programming in C++ by Robert Lefort for this lecture, and I'll also use an online compiler during this lecture if I need to implement any program at ide.geeks4geeks.org. You may need a laptop with internet connection or any machine for that matter, and knowledge of C preferred but is not necessary for learning this C++. Now, inline function, let me tell you what is an inline function. Generally, before I get into what inline function is, let me tell you what is the use of a function. If you have watched my video on functions, whose link is given in the description box, you can watch that video. You'll understand what a function is, but let me just revise. One of the objectives of using functions in a program is to save memory space, which becomes appreciable when a function is likely to be called many times in a program. And what happens is every time you call a function, it takes a lot of extra time in executing a series of instructions for the tasks that the function is doing, such as jumping to the function when you call it, then saving the registers. Register is 1-bit memory cell where you save the data, and pushing arguments into the stack, and then returning to the calling function. So when a function is small, a substantial percentage of execution time may be spent in such overheads. So this is the kind of overhead of using a function. So one solution to this problem is to use macros, or macro definitions. And preprocessor macros are popular in C, but the major drawback with macros is that they are not really functions, and therefore the usual error checking does not occur during compilation. So C++ has a different solution to this problem. To eliminate the cost of calls to small functions, what C++ does is it proposes a new feature called inline function. So a function that is expanded in line when it is invoked is an inline function. That is, the compiler replaces the function call with the corresponding function code. This is similar to macros expansion, right? And the inline functions are defined as follows. Like, you can see the syntax, I have mentioned it over here. It is just like the normal definition of a function. You have function header and the function body. Only thing is that before the function header, you have to include the keyword inline. How a function is defined, again I would request you to watch the video on functions if you haven't watched it yet. And all the inline functions must be defined before they are called. And inline functions, generally functions are made inline when they are small enough to be defined in 1 or 2 lines. I'll surely take an example now to demonstrate how it is, and it is easy to make a function inline. All we need to do is to prefix the keyword inline to the function definition. I have already shown you the syntax, and all inline functions, as I said, must be defined before they are called. So, but we should take a bit of care before making a function inline. The speed benefits of inline functions diminish as the function grows in size, right? So at some point the overhead of the function call becomes small compared to the execution of the function, and the benefits of inline functions may be lost. So in such cases, the use of normal functions would be more meaningful, and usually functions are made inline when they are small enough to be defined in 1 or 2 lines, as I said. And always remember that inline keyword merely sends a request to the compiler, and it is not a command for the compiler. So the compiler may ignore this request if the function is if the function definition is too long or too complicated, and compile the function as a normal function. Okay, so some of the situations where inline functions may not work are for functions returning values if a loop, a switch, or a goto exists, and for functions not returning values if a return statement exists, and if functions contain static variables, then inline function may not work, and if inline functions are recursive, then also it won't be considered as inline. So inline expansion makes a program run faster because the overhead of a function call and return is eliminated. However, it makes the program to take up more memory because the statements that define the inline function are reproduced at each point where the function is called. So a trade-off becomes necessary, right? So let me demonstrate how to use an inline function. I'll demonstrate a program in which we are going to use an inline function. So basic things that we need in a program is including the header file and using namespace and all that you're going to use. Now I'm going to use a function whose return type is float. It is named as mul. It is going to multiply two numbers supplied to it as arguments. So that is, suppose float x and float y. These are dummy variables. Okay, but now I'm going to, as I said, if I would have if this would have been a normal function, this would have been the declaration, but because this is a inline function, I'll need a keyword inline over here, and I'll need to define it before it is called. So I'll have to define it over here, right? And as I said, inline function has to be of just one or two statements at the max, so that it is considered as inline. Okay, so here I'm just going to write return x into y. What it is going to do is it is going to multiply x and y and return the value, right? Similarly, I might make one more function again to if you want to understand it better, let us write one more function of type which is going to divide two numbers supplied to it. Okay, say p and q. Okay, so these are the functions p and q. Okay, it need not be actually a floating point number, it could be an integer also. Because I have taken one as a float, I'll make this as an integer. Okay, and so what is happening over here is I'm taking two integer numbers, okay, and I'm supplying them as arguments, and I'm going to multiply and return the value wherever this mul function will be called. And now I'm writing an inline function which is a division function. It is going to divide two numbers, okay, like one number by the other. So here I'm dividing p by q and I'm returning the value to the place where it will be called, okay, in the main function, of course. So here goes the code. I'll replace this comment with the actual code. Now here suppose I have two variables, int a and b. These are the two variables, and I have float c and d. Okay, and what I do is I assign value to a as 5 and b as 10, okay, and c as 2.5 or say 5.0, and d as 2.5, okay, now, or 2.0 suppose. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to display the output of multiplication of AB, okay, and I'm also going to, okay, I'm also going to display the division of C by D, okay, and just of this, okay. It is as simple as that. Let us see what happens when you execute the statement. Hopefully you'll get the output as C. A is 5, B is 10, and because this is a multiplication, oh, there's some error. uh, Expected is equal to using namespace. Okay, sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Instead of uh, this, I just wrote iostream. Instead of iostream, I wrote stdio.h, which was a very big mistake. Okay, this is a C++ file. Okay, and I'm writing this in C, whereas it has to be in C++. Oh, let me do this in a C++ file. Okay, such kind of error should also be shown so that you get an idea what exactly have to debug the errors, and like what exactly is supposed to be done and taken care of when you are actually doing a program. So see, when I supplied a and b values, it went to this, and xy was multiplied, and we got a output is 50, and 5 was divided by 2 using this function, and the output came as 2.5. Okay, so this is how an inline function works. So I hope you have understood what is an inline function, what is the benefit of using an inline function. It is just that you save time, okay, the CPU time, and situations where inline expansion may not work. I have also told you the 4 situations in which it doesn't work, and the reasons are quite obvious, because we our aim is to save the time, okay, the time taken to execute a normal function, okay, though at the cost of memory space. So we have to keep it as small as it could be. So that is the situations where you can't avoid this, you cannot use inline expansion. And program demonstrating the use of inline function is also taken in this lecture, and I hope you have understood every bit of it. Now you are supposed to solve this assignment at the end of this lecture. If you have understood, define inline function and write a program to calculate area of a circle using an inline function, and also state the situations in which the inline expansion may not work. I hope you have you have liked this video, so do not forget to like, comment and share your views with me, and share this video with your friends. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done yet. Thank you.